Welcome to part 2 of little known hacks to alleviate your anxiety and stress. I'm Victoria, I'm co-founder of SuperFastDiet, and I'm with beautiful Lisa Gumanik of Bliss Spot, and she's also a mental health coach and practitioner. So she's got some really amazing hacks which are so practical. So let's start with number 1, and that is community and connection.
Absolutely. So research shows us, it's really important to understand that, there's some foundations to some of the things that we're talking about here, but research shows us the power of connection and community. So, we do a lot of things, on our own, but connecting with others brings about, joy and purpose and an experience that we don't necessarily have on our own. So, find people, communities, events that you enjoy and people that you like to connect with.
So going to the gym, for example, might be one.
Absolutely.
Doing things like, I don't know if park runs are running, but things like events with communities.
Yeah, and even things online, there are so much available online at the moment. Where there may not be things that are available in person, that can be just as rewarding because you're connecting with like-minded people. It might be, women connecting with women. There might be some men's groups. And it's just really amazing how, your inner resilience and your inner stress levels can reduce when you connect with people that are like-minded and also do things that you enjoy doing as well.
Yeah, great advice. And if you're feeling stressed, for me personally, one of the best things I can do is phone a friend.
Yeah.
That's connection too, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
When I was going through a really, really challenging period of time, one thing that I looked into and started going to was something called women's circles.
Ah, great.
And so that was women getting together, and it wasn't about, sharing your problems. It was uplifting everybody in a number of different ways. So things like, meditation and a little bit of movement and reflection. And it was so beautiful and so empowering. And, I felt part of this really, really beautiful community and connection with women.
That sounds wonderful, wonderful. So it's finding your tribe.
Finding your tribe.
Uplifting tribe.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Number 2 is an attitude of gratitude.
Again, science shows us the power of gratitude. And, it is an attitude and something that you can create and something that you can foster and grow. So maybe listing out 3 things that you're grateful for. It might be something you do in the morning, but it's also something really as part of your 7 minutes and starting and supporting the brain in that 7 minutes, but also something that you might want to add to your evening routine. So thinking about 3 things that you're grateful for. So when you go to bed, your body and your brain is, in alignment to be able to sleep with these beautiful thoughts and feelings. So it's, it can be simple as, my husband always says, I'm grateful for the sun. I'm grateful for the weather, or it might be something as simple as, I'm grateful for waking up, this morning, or grateful for waking up in this beautiful soft bed, or I'm grateful for this connection that I've had.
Yeah, I actually do this, and it works. It works so well. So when I wake up in the morning, before I open my eyes, I try to think, what's some nice things that I will be grateful for today? Yeah. And at the end of the day, I really do try to make it my practice to think, what are 3 things? And it might be as simple as a hug from a friend. It doesn't have to be difficult. And it really makes you feel good.
I was going to say, you'd mentioned it works for you. So what are the things how does it make you feel?
Oh, it just completely changes my mindset. So I'm a bit of a worrier, naturally a worrier, as we were sharing before. Yeah. And, in business, high achiever, all that kind of stuff, tend to be very hard on myself. And so I worry about things. I worry about how we're going to pay the wages, what's going to happen, what if that happens? And it never really does.
Which is anxiety and thinking of the future. Yeah.
So if I force myself to think, what am I grateful for? It actually brings you back to what's really important in life. And that's not business. And it's not money. It's family, friends, connection, leaving, doing good things for other people.
Absolutely. And it brings you back into yourself. You know, a lot of people will talk about the concept of, you know, grounding or centering. You're like, what's grounding and what's centering? It's coming back to, you know, things like gratitude and feeling what gratitude feels like, you know, what those experiences feel like. And that brings you back into centering and grounding, as opposed to being up here in that worried, anxious mind. Yes. Brings you back into your body. So it's an amazing tool and hack.
It really is. And the other thing that makes me think about is how fortunate we are, particularly in Australia, how blessed we are just to have a nice soft bed and to be able to go to the tap and get fresh water. Like, we all need to be much more grateful.
And it's changing the focus from the things that we don't have to the things that we do have.
Brilliant, brilliant. Let's get on to movement.
Movement. I love movement. We know that movement's so important, and research has been telling us for a very, very, very long time the importance of movement. And the reason that it's important, because, you know, when we talk about mental health and emotional health, stress and anxiety, we know that that affects our mind. You know, we have this busy, busy mind, and then we also might have, you know, a number of symptoms that happen, you know, within the body when we get stressed and anxious. And what movement does is allows us to break some of those cycles, because often we get stuck in the thoughts of our mind. So movement, you know, simple as going for a walk, can change that focus so that you're not so much in your mind. But one of my favorite and very unique techniques for movement is a little bit different, because we've got, you know, the exercise and the yoga and the Pilates and the gym and whatnot, which is all fantastic. But something that you may not know about that's really effective is actually shaking.
I love this. I need to know more.
So the basic version of shaking is just doing that. So, you know, shaking your hands, shaking your body, shaking your legs, you know, standing up, shaking. It's really powerful because our emotions and energy physically get stuck in our body. This helps to get it moving. Just like on one of our other videos, we did some tapping. That helps to get energy moving. But if we look back at the fight, flight, freeze that we spoke about, what happens is that's where things get stuck in our nervous system. And so what do animals do when they go into that fight, flight, freeze mode? Some of them freeze and then they start shaking.
Oh yeah, that's what dogs do, and cats as well. Mm-hmm. You're right. Mm-hmm. That's really interesting.
So their nervous system is reacting and responding in a normal way, which is to shake to clear out that trauma and that fight, flight, freeze and that fear and overwhelm. And so we can do that as well, but we haven't been taught and we don't know. So shaking can help loosen up your nervous system and release some of that emotion, thoughts, and feelings that get stuck in your body.
That is brilliant. And you could actually even maybe put on some great music.
Oh, yeah.
And shake your booty.
Because it's all about changing the energy. And one of the ways that we can change the energy is obviously by movement and music, because that's uplifting. It changes our thoughts, our feelings.
Fantastic. Well, I love your hacks. So stay tuned, because we've got part 3 of Lisa's hacks coming up soon.